All right. Hello again, coaches. I just put out practice plan two. While I'm here, I'm going to do number three because I haven't been able to find a whole lot of time to continue with these. So anyway, this is another one of the plans that I like that we did a couple weeks ago. Um, Again, this is Mite A, mostly 6 to 8 year olds. We have one 6 year old, mostly 7 to 8 year olds. We got 10 skaters, and we get a half a sheet for 1 hour on these practices. So I typically I try and do about half the practice just skating, half the practice with pucks, fun stuff. Very minimal positioning that we do. We mainly just try and focus on skills. So anyway, zigzag warmups. Get 9 cones together and put all the kids in the corner. Um, Try and position the cones so that your kids are going to get 3 or 4 hard strides before they have to start making the turn. So we do a few variations of this, just like most of the warm ups. We'll go around forwards first, just for a warm up. We'll probably do 2 reps of that. Um, I do have them do this backwards. Um, we do that for sometimes we'll do that for 3 or 4 reps. I think that backward skating is important at this age. Um, I like them to do backwards crossovers out of the cones. I know I've had this conversation with other coaches that backwards crossovers is kind of a dying move, but it's still important for them to know. Um, so they do generate power with that. We do transitions where we're focused far side of the rink, um, always facing forward on that. Focus on shoulder straight, hip straight, and then we move on. So we're probably 7 8 minutes into practice at this point. Um, Next is starts and stops. I try and incorporate starts and stops, at least stops in some variation in every practice. Um, Same cones. We do move them in a little bit. First rep, well, I know I have cross steps in here, but the first rep will just be starts and stops. 3 or 4 hard steps, stop. 3 or 4 hard ones, stop around. Um, Probably 2 reps of that, and then side steps. Right, 1 2 3 side steps, and then stop at the cone. And it could be a 1 foot stop at the cone because they're probably not generating that much speed at this point. But the side stepping is uh, what we want to focus on in this one, keeping your shoulders and hips square to an object that is directly in front of you, whatever that is. Um, I put a condensed version of line drill in here. This is fantastic for mites, at least fantastic for the coaches. Um, we do not use this drill as punishment. It is a somewhat of a conditioning drill. It is fun to joke with them when we're having problems in line or whatever. Um, Kids are out there doing what they're not supposed to be doing. Ask them if they want to do line drill. Um, that is something that we use to straighten them up. A lot of times I'll even put this in practice and we won't even do it. The idea is not have to do it, but again, I mean, it's good conditioning. So, whatever your opinion is on that. Do 1 rep, 2 reps. Make sure everyone's stopping, facing the correct direction, whatever it is that you agree on before you start, and keep it moving. So we're about halfway through practice at this point. I take the pennies and put them on one side, put the non-pennies on the other side, and we do each station for 5 to 6 minutes, roughly. This one looks kind of complicated because there's a lot of lines, but it's really not that bad. It's 2 or 3 passes until both skaters leave on the whistle at the same time, 2 or 3 passes until they get to the cone, turn around the cone, and then come in for a 2-1-0. Again, on the other side, this one is fun. This is a chasing drill, and this is the first variation I've did with this. I've changed it up since, but on this one, player 1, F1, first guy starts with a puck. He goes. Second forward chases him. Ideally, this one cone is here because the second player was supposed to start as soon as the first player got to the cone. We've had mistiming problems and such with that, so I have modified that, but that is how this one went. If the defender didn't catch him by the time he got around to this first cone, defender could transition around here and going for the one-on-one, while the player with the puck has to go around. If you watch, I will probably do a video on this later, but eventually we just had one cone here to start and then put another cone back here and let them both start at the same time, and the forward without the puck had to catch him. At this age, the guy with the puck always was kind of slowed down a little bit, so it was easy to catch, but we did have some good battles with this drill. I do recommend it, and it is a lot of fun. I drew this in to finish this practice. We ended up trying it for about 3 or 4 minutes until we found out that this drill does not work with my team. I did get this from another Mite coach who has had success with this, so I was optimistic that we would try it. It is pretty much, I was fortunate to have 10 skaters, so we just line them up 5 lines of 2, middle lines are D. Coach dumps the puck, so it starts out with a 5-person breakout. First D goes to the puck, a couple of passes, and they're out. And then ideally this drill would turn into, after the breakout, coming in on a 3-on-2. We were not that fortunate. We had a lot of problems with positioning and players not really knowing where they're supposed to go. And after a couple of minutes of explaining it on the board, and then a couple of minutes of us flustering with it on the ice, we decided to keep it moving. So that's all I have actually drawn up for this practice. But what we ended up doing, and we had 2 goaltenders, we just put one net here, we put one net here, lined up pennies over here, non-pennies over here, sent them in for a 2-on-2. You could pass it back to the third player to activate them. So it could be ultimately a 3-on-2 or a 3-on-3. So that was actually pretty competitive. And then usually we have a floating coach who, if you pass it to the coach, he will pass it back to whatever team let him have it. So I'm optimistic that eventually we will get to do the 3-on-2 breakout and break in, but at the Mite level, even at the higher level of Mites, I'm not upset that it didn't work, but I feel like in these videos I should include some of the things that we tried that didn't work, which is, 20 or 30% of the stuff we try. So anyway, that's it for this one. If you watch this one also, thank you. If there's anything you want to see, let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to draw up some more drills. See you next time.